When was the last time you played? The kind where time slips away and you're so immersed in the moment that nothing else matters. Was it during a time you were lost in a creative project, or on a road trip with friends, or making a nice wholesome meal? Or maybe it was when you were playing your guitar, diving into a video game after a Steam sale, or during a pickleball tournament? I heard that's what all the kids are into these days. When was the last time you let your inner child out and played? As adults, this can feel a little bit indulgent, almost irresponsible. After all, there are bills to pay, laundry to do, groceries to buy, deadlines to meet, children and pets to care for, and 1,000 side projects to juggle. And at the end of a long workday, it can feel like all you want to do is grab your phone and scroll through TikTok for like 4 hours straight until you pass out on the couch. Hobbies and plays start to feel optional, like as if it's a luxury that we only earn once everything else is done. And even then, it can still somehow feel wrong, frivolous, even selfish. Studies show that 1 in 4 adults feel guilty when taking time out for hobbies or trying something new. And this number increases significantly for those who are married or have families. But here's the thing, adults still need to play. Dr. Stuart Brown, the author of Play, How It Shapes the Brain, Opens the Imagination, and Invigorates the Soul, puts it simply, the opposite of play isn't work. It's depression. He writes, play helps us deal with difficulties, provide a sense of expansiveness, promotes mastery of our craft, and is an essential part of the creative process. Most importantly, true play that comes from our own inner needs and desires is the only path to finding lasting joy and satisfaction in our work. In the long run, work does not work without play. So maybe we've become so busy surviving that we kind of forget what makes the human experience so lovely in the first place. Exploring, creating, laughing, having fun, playing. Do you ever notice how most of our happiest moments are linked to play? Hangouts, camping trips, sports games, a solo creative project, or just goofing around with someone you love. These moments, big or small, are what add color to our lives. These moments of play. I know what you're thinking. Allie, come on. If I pick up another hobby right now, I'm never gonna get anything done. I know, I hear you. And that's totally fair. But the good news is that we don't need to play all the time to be fulfilled. The beneficial effects of getting just a little true play can spread through our lives, actually making us more productive and happier in everything we do. Incorporating just a small bit of play into our routine can be exactly what we need to get out of that rut, to solve that bug, to pick up a new hobby or revisit an old one, and to bring a little more joy back into our lives. And interestingly, it's wired into our biology. Our ancestors have been playing since our early days, and if it didn't have some sort of survival value, it would have likely been eliminated by natural selection by now. But it hasn't. We still seek out play because it's fundamental to our well-being. In fact, research has shown that even without a developed cerebral cortex, mammals will still engage in play. It's ingrained in us, and for good reason. For one, play gives the brain a chance to rest, recharge, and engage in something active and creative. It also helps improve social connections, build empathy, and enhance focus and productivity, even if it doesn't seem like it. At the same time, play reduces stress and releases endorphins, the happiness hormones. Recent studies also show that mammals with larger brains relative to their body size engage in more play, suggesting that play is closely tied to intelligence and problem-solving abilities. Bob Fagan, an expert in animal play behavior, studied Alaskan grizzly bears for over 15 years and found that the bears who played the most were the ones who survived the best. But why? One theory is that play helps with successful socialization. Animals that play together learn together. They learn to read social cues, recognize emotions, and respond appropriately. These are skills tied to what we call emotional intelligence. Another theory is that play stimulates life, preparing us for real-world challenges but without the risk. It's like when you see 2 animals play fighting. They're learning how to fight in the real world but without the consequences of losing, which is, death. Same thing with adults at a cocktail party. We learn how to playfully banter with one another and know when to stop when the person starts to look offended or starts to remind you of your restraining order. Whether through sports, books, movies, or hobbies, play helps us navigate the world and teaches us important life lessons. Supporting our favorite sports team teaches us how to argue constructively with friends. Archery builds focus and emotional control. Running teaches us persistence. Playing music teaches us patience. Movies and books allow us to live through the stories of others and learn from them. These lessons aren't attained in the workplace or the classroom. They're picked up in the pursuits and hobbies we enjoy outside of them. You'd be surprised how activities seemingly unrelated to your job can actually help you solve problems. And this is one of the reasons why companies love brainstorming sessions and taking their employees out of these retreats. It's because these activities are forms of play that get the creative juices flowing to unlock new ideas and potentially solve complex problems. After all, play is nature's greatest tool for creating new neural pathways, clearing mental roadblocks, and connecting the dots. Just the thing you need to think of the next big idea. Okay, great. Now that we know all that, how can we start incorporating more play into our lives? First of all, what's your play personality? Play personalities are strong preferences for certain types of play over others, and they're categorized into 8 distinct types, which are: number 1, the joker, whose play is centered around some kind of nonsense. They're usually the class clowns and maybe stand-up comedians when they're older, or just regular folk like you and me who like to tell jokes and clown around at home. Kinesthets are people who like physical movement, who, in the words of Sir Ken Robinson, need to move in order to think. They might enjoy hobbies such as rock climbing, yoga, dance, basketball, and going to the gym. Explorers are curious individuals who love to discover and learn new things. This could mean physically traveling to new places or exploring through art, music, ideas, or even social interactions. Competitors love structured games with clear rules, and they want to win. Whether it's a solo video game or a team sport like basketball, they thrive on the challenge. These players also bring this competitive spirit into other areas, like work or social settings. Directors love to organize, plan, or create memorable experiences like hosting parties or coordinating get-togethers. At their best, they're natural leaders who can bring people together. Collectors find joy in acquiring and possessing unique or interesting items such as antiques, rare coins, shoes, toys, or even experiences like watching a solar eclipse. For some, they would prefer it as a solitary pursuit, but for others, it's about connecting with fellow enthusiasts. For the artist or creator, joy comes from the act of making, whether it takes the form of painting, pottery, furniture making, crocheting, or even gardening. The joy of it comes primarily from the process of it instead of just the outcome. Storytellers are driven by imagination and the power of narrative. This personality is not limited to writers or performers. It also includes anyone who immerses themselves in stories, whether it's through reading, watching films, playing games, or even following sports. For storytellers, play is about diving into a world of imagination and sharing the stories with others. So which one are you? No one fits perfectly into a single category though. Most of us are a mix of them. And if you're not really sure, I think it might help to think back about the activities that you used to enjoy as a kid. Was there something that you loved doing so much that you lost all track of time? It doesn't have to look exactly the same, but it could share some similarities. One suggestion that I came across recently is to make 2 lists. The first one being the activities that you used to love as a kid, and the second one being what the grown-up version of that could look like today. So for example, when I was a kid, I used to love drawing and telling stories through little hand-drawn comics. But now as an adult, even though I still draw from time to time, I mainly like telling stories through video, as you can see. And hey, maybe that thing that you used to love is completely different now, and that's totally okay. Our hobbies and interests might evolve with us, but whatever it is, just start with what resonates with you. In other words, who are you when the world isn't watching? And the last thing is to schedule in some time for play. Personally, this means not overloading my calendar with endless to-do lists and being mindful of where my time goes when I'm idle. Recently, I had to enforce a limit on my screen time just because of how many hours I was spending just scrolling every day after work. And we both know how much time and energy gets wasted just like passively scrolling like that. I'll probably explore more about this in another video, but the point is that in the overstimulated world that we live in today, I think it's more important than ever to learn how to be comfortable with being bored, because boredom is that space where creativity and play thrives. And on the topic of being productive and like go all the time, well, is that really sustainable? As Cal Newport writes in his book Slow Productivity, we're meant to work at a natural pace. There should be time for both work and play. Like seasons in nature, there are seasons for growth and seasons for rest. After all, nothing in nature blooms all year, so we don't have to expect ourselves to do so either. And when it's a new thing that you're trying out for the first time, don't be afraid to be a beginner. I know sometimes it feels like we have to be really good at it right away in order for it to be worthwhile, but no, don't fall into that. Everyone starts from somewhere. We have to be okay with being bad before we can be good. And a little side note here, you don't have to monetize your hobbies if you don't want to. The hobby can just be a hobby. You don't have to feel the pressure of being really good at it and monetizing it like right off the bat. You don't have to open a bakery just because you learned how to bake a cake. You don't have to live stream your crocheting if you don't want to. You don't have to open an Etsy store after learning how to make stickers if you don't want to. I think there's a lot of like beauty and peace in doing something just for the sake of it, just because you enjoy it. You know, no audience, no pressure. You have like all that space to just mess up and be terrible at it, which is totally fine. As John Steinbeck writes in East of Eden, and now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. To close, when we allow ourselves to play, we are reconnecting with our core selves, the part of us that makes us who we are. It's through play that we grow, explore, find joy in the little things, and learn more about ourselves and the world around us. Play is the foundation of all art, music, books, sports, movies, games, fun, and wonder. It is a vital part of the human experience and what makes life lively and all the more wonderful. Thanks for watching.